It's time for your weekly update, so let's get after it. Quick market update. Let's talk about mortgage interest rates. Despite a favorable CPI report last week, you would think that mortgage interest rates would drop. Well, they're resistant. They're being resistant right now because of fears that the Fed will raise the Fed funds rate in the coming months. Now, that would indicate that inflation is not under control. So the natural question you'd be asking yourself is, well, what would show that inflation is under control? Glad you asked. Because we are putting a lot on the jobs report. Specifically, this week, we'll have the initial jobless claims. Now, if we have an increased number, meaning more jobless people or more job loss, that would go to show that an initial slowdown of the economy is there, and then the Fed is going to be less likely to do any more rate hikes. So as you can tell, there's a number of different factors that go into mortgage interest rates, and they have nothing to do with the borrower's credit score, their debt to income, their loan to value, or all the different dynamics of a mortgage application. The biggest thing here is inflation. If we can consistently show that inflation is under control, we should start to see rates drop from their current mountain, which is north of 7%. Now, what am I excited about? The Iowa State Fair. Yes, I know I'm based out of Michigan, but originally I'm an Iowa boy. And if you're wanting one of the best state fairs in the country, Iowa is where you want to be come August. Listen, they've got a 600-pound butter cow. They've got every fried food imaginable, and they have nightly concerts. And this year they've got Eric Church and Ludacris, Jason Aldean, and others. It's always a good time. What book am I reading? The Mamba Mentality. Now, this is a book that gives you an inside look into one of the greatest competitors in all of sports, Kobe Bryant. There are, millions of talented athletes, but I would argue that literally no one outworked Kobe. So the question is, how can you apply this to your business? What lessons can you learn, and what changes will you make? What am I watching? Well, this guy on TikTok called at Country Song Teacher. Now, I've always wanted to play acoustic guitar, but I've conveniently found excuses on why I can't play on a regular basis. But I happened to stumble across this guy on TikTok. I liked his style. He breaks it down in an easy to understand fashion, and he's a great follow if you're into that. What am I listening to? Anything David Goggins. Now, whether you want to admit it or not, this industry is tough, right? And right now, I'm doing everything that I can to fight for my clients to get an accepted offer and get them to the closing table. Now, if we're being honest, sometimes it's tough to keep going and keep fighting. But when I hear him, his grit, his mental toughness, his perseverance, I know that I can keep going. I review my goals and then I get back after it. What I just bought, I love this 62-inch tripod from Amazon. It's so versatile, it's compact, it's adjustable, and the best part, it's 30% off right now. So it's only like $15.99, $16, and it's available on Prime. One of my missions of my whole thing with social media is dedicated to show that you don't need some fancy studio or dump thousands into equipment to make videos. There are a few basic things, and this tripod is a staple. And lastly, if you aren't a part of our private realtor social media group on Facebook, hey, let me know and I'll get you hooked up. It's not spammy stuff, just real life tips and tricks on how you can level up your social media game. See you next week.